All right, folks, welcome to our 2025 Interscholastic Unified Indoor Bocce Pre-Competition Briefing. First off, congratulations to everybody for their teams advancing to the state tournament. Fantastic job throughout the year. Great job as coaches. Great job as just leaders overall. So appreciate you guys for everything throughout the year, especially with this bocce season. Katie's going to try to join us tonight. I know her schedule's a little tough. Tyler hopped on. I saw he just came back from a district tournament today. We do have a bocce district tournament also happening in Charles County as we speak. And then we have one more tournament to finish before the week's over. So we are coming in hot to the end of the season here. Here's a little bit of the agenda. Realistically, we'll talk about logistics and kind of the overall flow of the event stuff. We'll review competition stuff just to have you prepared. This isn't going to be a deep dive into rules or anything like that. For the most part, we are going to get you rules reminders for things that we saw throughout the season. That's Katie. If you haven't met Katie, Katie will be running our competition table. We're going to be working a process this year of one joint competition area, but two competition tables, one that takes in information after every round and one that spits out information after every round. Hopefully that's going to let us be a little bit more efficient, but when you're in that area, Katie is in charge of the bocce competition aspect. That's Tyler. You've probably seen him at district tournaments. If not, you will definitely see him at states, especially around the awards area. He runs our awards venue for us. And that's me and my adventure cat, Oogie. He hikes a little bit with me. Also, apologies in advance. We got a kitten that we found on the street, so she's in the room with me, and so if she starts screaming, I can't do much about that. Medical stuff. We like to cover medical right off the top. Once you get on site, we will have paid medical that can take care of anything that comes up. Anything from an actual competition injury to somebody tripped over something walking in the door. We've seen it all at this point, but we want to be around to support that. With that said, if when you are traveling, but by the time you leave school between there and the state tournament venue, follow whatever medical procedures your district has for you guys on field trips. So if something happens on the bus, follow whatever your district typically tells you. But once you get on site, we will have medical. We'll point them out to you and we'll let you know what the plan is there. One last note while I'm thinking about it on medical. If you have an athlete or any participant on your team, quite honestly, that has a extra medical need. I know in the past we've need somebody to have an independent changing room or independent feeding room, whatever it may be. If you could give us an email in the next day or two to let us know if you have a special need for an athlete, we'll do everything that we can within the confines of the venue. Good news is HCCC's ARC building has a lot of options and utility spots. So again, let us know if any of your athletes or participants overall have any medical additional needs outside the standard stuff. Here's the location. Hagerstown Community College. Make sure you/your bus driver or whoever's going puts in the ARC building because it'll take you specifically to that location on the college campus. If for some reason you don't, there's really one way in, one way out for Hagerstown Community College, and the campus is just a big circle. So when you come in, you hook a right, you follow that all the way around, and you're going to see our flags and our banners and our bus stop signs. You'll know you're in the right place. But if you're looking for more specific directions, make sure you put in the ARC Center. If you just put in that Robinwood Drive, it's going to take you to Hagerstown Community College, but you'll have to follow the signage that we put out to get you to the building. Here's a quick look at the schedule. For the most part, this is business as usual when it comes to our Unified Sports State Championship schedules. The only thing we've modified just a little bit is that we are moving the coaches meeting up from 10:15 to 10:05. And then we are having the opening ceremony at 10:15 instead of 10:30. Essentially, if we buy ourselves 15 minutes in the morning, that allows our schedule to conclude on all the courts by 3 p.m. We'll talk about this a little down the road in the slideshow here. There is a hint of potential gross weather, potential snow coming in for those 2 days. Fingers crossed we don't have to do the day dance that we've had to do last year. But if it comes in where we start getting snow in the afternoon on Tuesday, this will buy us a little bit more time. Realistically, we always tell the schools that we want them to shoot for getting there between 9 and 10 a.m. That's kind of the window that we shoot for. With that said, we know there's a decent amount of travel that has to be done for schools and such. Um, so let us know if there's any hiccups. I'll have my cell phone number in here for you guys to grab, and we'll share all that stuff. Additionally, God forbid you're on 695 in the morning and then have to hit 70 or whatever going west, and there's traffic, and you're not going to arrive until 10:15, 10:30. Give us a heads up. We've had to slide, hey, we'll slide this match up in front of this match because, somebody's running behind. The biggest thing when it comes to the morning is try your best to get there on time. And if you're running behind or something comes up, communicate. If we don't know you're running behind, there's nothing we can do when those first matches start because we don't know you're running behind. We start them. So otherwise, the rest of the schedule is pretty much business as usual. Lunch sometime between 11 and 12. We say 11:30 for our friends Jersey Mike's. Once they get delivered, we'll get them handed out. We'll make an announcement, so on and so forth. And then based off of our match schedule, 3 p.m. is what we're looking like for awards and ceremonies to really kick into that last phase. We'll talk a little bit about awards on the back end of this, but that's the general schedule at the moment. Again, we'll share these slides and I'll share some extra documents with you guys so you don't have to worry about writing down everything tonight, and we can get you what you need. If there is bad weather, we will make a call by February 11th at 6 a.m. With that said, knowing how busing works and that schools operate very differently than our community program where independent people are driving our athletes to competitions, I'm going to work to have a decision on the weather by noon on Monday, the 10th, realistically. I will reach out to district reps. We'll have conversations about weather. I've already prepped a couple district reps to potentially have a phone call on Sunday if we need to look at weather. But the latest we will make any sort of announcement on weather for the 11th is 6 a.m. that morning. I'm very, very, very unlikely to drag it out unless something freak happens that I wake up at 4 a.m. and the roads are a disaster out of nowhere. That's like worst case scenario. With that said, if we do have to push next week from Tuesday out of Tuesday, we go Wednesday. If for some reason there's a crazy situation where Tuesday can't happen and Wednesday can't happen, unfortunately, those are the only days we get for states. We haven't had that issue, knock on wood, in years and years. Probably even before me, Katie. Probably sometime when you were even a coach back then. So,
Oh, way before even me.
yeah. So we've been blessed. Things look good right now. Don't panic. But if we need to, Wednesday is our backup day. All right, let's talk event info really quick. This whole section I'm going to skip, but I highly recommend this headline section where it says bus arrival and departure. You guys print out this little section and have it for your bus driver. It's really helpful. It has a map. It shows you where you need to go, and it kind of shows you that loop overall to aid with the signage. Another key thing that I always tell folks is before you get off the bus, make sure you get the phone number for your bus driver. With Bocce and how we do awards, we do rolling awards based on when your placement comes in your division. If you finish early, you have your bus driver's phone number, give them a half hour heads up, we're ready to go. It helps you expedite your day. If anybody has a handicap specific parking need, we don't have a ton of handicap specific access, but please send me an email by Friday. It's going to be, half dozen to a dozen spots, and it's for folks that really need it. If you have a teacher that's traveling separately, a coach that's traveling separately, if somebody has a grandparent that really wants to be there but is worried about having to walk from parking, please send me an email and reach out. We can reserve some spots, but again, they're not unlimited. Essentially, anybody that's not traveling on your team bus, if you have an athletic director coming, if you have spectators coming, whatever it may be, they need to park in that green area in lot L. It's right across diagonally from the Arc Center. There are parking lots straight across the street from the Arc Center. They are lot K. They can park there. It's student parking. HCCC typically says that's fine, but we're absolutely approved for lot L. I can't guarantee campus security going around and ticketing or whatever in K because it is meant for students. L is their general event parking for sure. So again, anybody that's not on your bus that does not need handicap parking, please park in L. Your buses will go in the lot behind there in N and O. So again, you're going to want that bus driver's cell phone number by the end of the day, even just to swing back around so you don't have to walk up to those parking lots. Really quick, any questions on essentially getting to the venue, parking, that kind of stuff? Fantastic. We're going to keep rolling. Again, if you have questions down the line, feel free to ask them. We can circle back. And if you have something that comes up, in a day or two, when I send you that email tomorrow, feel free to respond to that and ask questions as well. Additionally, we will have merchandise for purchase at the event. Our merchandise people take cash, Venmo, credit cards. I will say we just got a new order of merchandise, long sleeve hooded shirts. We have t-shirts. We have fanny packs that are actually really nice. They're a good size fanny pack too. And we have some hats and stuff. So we'll have that. Additionally, we will have somebody from our Unified Champion Schools team talking about the other components of UCS, which is Unified Champion Schools. The sports part is which we're doing is interscholastic unified sports. The other two parts are whole school engagement, which is pep rallies and announcements in the morning, announcements for when your team's going to states or what they placed at states or what they placed at districts. And then youth leadership is having captains on your team, having student council that is unified, that has athletes on it and unified partners, all that kind of stuff. We will have folks from our UCS team there. Allie, I know you're on here. Is there anything you want to add on behalf of the UCS team?
Yeah, I'll just add for team captains, if you guys can send them into the Unified Champions email, so that's ucs@somd.org. If you send that in to me before Thursday after school, I can get that to you guys at the Bocce State Championship. Other than that, just keep an eye out for the table when you get there and we'll be able to chat more.
Fantastic. Allie, I'll put that in the follow-up email to remind folks to send in names for their captains. It would be awesome to have the certificates at states for sure. Um, just so you know, you guys have done a really good job. We have a good amount of lunch order forms that have come in. If you have not turned in a lunch order form to your district rep or to myself/Katie/Tyler, please do so. I will send it out again tomorrow with the follow-up email as a last push effort of getting lunch orders. Lunch is going to be Jersey Mike's. We do a turkey sub option, a ham sub option, and a vegetarian salad. The salad is gluten-free, dairy-free, everything free. That is our third option. Everything comes in that lunchbox style. Comes with a chip, cookie, water, that kind of deal. Again, if you have not done your lunch form, please get that to us ASAP. If tomorrow's the first time that you're seeing it, not a huge deal. Just turn that around as quick as you can. Note for you guys for lunch. Our lunch service team will put together all the lunch groupings that we have lunch order forms for. So they'll pack up all those teams' lunches and they'll hand them out first. If we don't happen to get a lunch order form from somebody, it's not the end of the world. We have plenty of food. They will just do the pre-packed lunches first. Then they'll ask you, hey, how many sandwiches you need? How many salads do you need? Give you all your stuff and send you on your way. In no way am I asking you not to do a lunch form. It helps us tremendously if you have them, but do not panic if for some reason lunch form isn't there, it didn't get turned in, it got caught in spam or whatever. Everybody will be fed. Additionally, half the times I think the students realize that the concession stand is open at HCCC and they say, we don't even want Jersey Mike's, we want the concession stand. So it will be open. Again, we provide everybody that's on your competition roster with a full lunch. But if they want to bring money and get stuff from the concession stand, they're more than welcome to. You can let parents know. You can tell other administrators that are coming. There will be food for sale as well.
So Zach, let me jump in
Yep.
real quick because this question always comes up. So we were talking about for lunches, it is only for those who are on the competition roster who are actually playing that day. So if you have a
Right.
team that's like team one, team two, team three, if team one is playing, but two and three are there as spectators, we are not feeding teams two and three. So when you send in the forms, we're only looking for those who are actually competing at states and
Fantastic.
include and also including your coaching staff.
Yes, 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 yes. Fantastic. I appreciate that, Katie. That question does come up a lot. Anybody have any questions with the general logistics, lunch, any of that stuff?
Does the concession stand take cash?
I would be surprised if they don't, but let me reach out to my facility person tomorrow to see if I can get a confirmation on that.
Okay, I just know a lot of places now are going cash
Yep.
free and
Yep. Yeah, let me ask about that. I don't want to guess on an answer for you. Good question though.
okay, thank you.
All right. Sorry, I can't walk and chew gum. I have to write my notes in silence. Anyway, let's talk some competition stuff. Credentials. We only give credentials to anybody that was on your initial roster. So when you turn that roster in, uh, probably month and a half ago at this point, we asked you to put your coaches, assistant coaches, paraprofessionals, all those folks at the top. We will have a credential for all of those folks that you asked to have turned in. Additionally, we need to have all their paperwork for them. Tyler's handling all the paperwork. He's been reaching out to district reps to check in about paperwork. As we close out the week, we will send you a roster with all of your coaches and participants, athletes, unified partners, everyone on it. We'll ask you guys to double check that around Wednesday night, Thursday. Just confirm that we have all the folks on there. We don't want to miss people for credentials. But again, the folks that get credentials are uh, non-participants that are leading your team, coaches, assistant coaches, paraprofessionals that have been put on your roster this season, and they have turned in the paperwork. If for some reason there's someone that is missing, somebody that is key to getting your operations, or a one-on-one for somebody that really needs it that we didn't get paperwork for, we will work with you to push. We're going to try to keep that to a minimum so we're not doing a paperwork rush at the end here. But if there's a major need to have somebody credentialed, we will work to make that happen to support your athletes the best we can. Remember to review the event guide coming out in the email tomorrow. You will also get the event guide. It covers a lot of the same stuff that we're covering now with some additional layers of detail. An example of that is there are driving directions from most of the major interstates in there if your bus driver wants them for some reason. That's the kind of detail that's in the event guide compared to this. We won't go over in-depth stuff about the game of bocce. All that stuff is in there. Staging for matches. Essentially, how it works is first round of matches. We will have out the brackets in the first round of matches to you guys. We'll have that to you by Sunday. Once you have them, you'll know the first game that you guys are playing. That'll all be scheduled. If you are in a round robin format, you will know every game that is scheduled at what time it's played. If you're in a bracket, a double elimination bracket format, uh, after the first round, when you play changes. So, Again, Katie will have a competition team. She will have the section where the information's coming in and she's prepping the next round. The other half of her team will be setting up and sending teams out for the next round. They'll make announcements for who we need, and they need to report to the competition table to whoever's helping Katie. As of right now, I believe it's Andrea Perry from Washington County Public Schools. She's their head official out there. But just listen up. We'll go over this in the coaches meeting as well, so I can show you a visual of where your teams need to check in. Big thing for staging of matches that is a huge help for us and prevents us from getting delayed starting rounds. Please check in at the competition table with your team to have them ready. Don't just go to the court that you're supposed to be on, because then we start looking for whoever's coming. Or also, heads up for announcements, because if you're not at your court, if you didn't check in, we will hit a point that after second call, we're going to start those matches. And if you aren't there to start that match, you'll forfeit that match. We got to keep the day going. Okay. Katie, any details you want to share on that I didn't cover that are specific to you?
Sure. So when teams are checking in, I don't want you checking in directly with me. I will have, like he said, two people there to work with you. They will be there with the clipboards and they will be staging the different teams. I'm looking over the prior uh, records from each court to make sure that we didn't miss anything. So truthfully, I am trying to keep myself as low on the totem pole in this situation for staging, purely because I'm trying to make sure that the tournament's running smoothly and we got everybody. So your teams will be reporting to my associates that are going to be helping that day.
Perfect. That's the game plan. Again, if you have questions, we'll go over this in the coaches meeting, and we'll give you a little bit more of a visual representation of what this looks like. We will, as soon as we have results for that round and we verify that they're right and there's nothing wrong with them and they're signed off on, we will post the results on brackets that are on the wall closest to the lobby. It'll still be in the gym. We'll point out where they are, but we'll show you where they are. With that said, when a round ends, don't expect for scores to instantly be ready to go and instantly on the other side of the gym. Katie's got to take them in. Katie's got to look over and verify them. If for some reason somebody didn't sign off on a form, if for some reason a score looks funky and she's got to confirm with an official, it might take, 5 minutes to get over there. But please be patient. We will get those results up, and we will do our best on our end to communicate with you when your team is up, and support you guys when you need it. Again, the next one, don't go and run up to Katie and ask her what court you're on next. She's trying to do enough things to keep the day going. Her assistants will be able to help you with that. Again, she'll have assistants. She'll have runners to put up scores on the other side. She'll have her own little team. Katie's absolutely willing to work with you, but also be prepared to work with Katie and let her do her thing so we keep rolling. I think I hit that enough, right, Katie?
Yes, yes, you
Okay,
did.
fantastic. Competition accommodations. If you have an athlete that has a need, or even if it's a partner as well, that has a need that falls outside of what we typically allow for competition for bocce, for any unified sport, we need to know that before we get to the competition. Please send us in an email by Friday any accommodations that anyone on your team may need. The morning of, if you come up and say, hey, I have an athlete that needs this, too late. You got to play the game as is, and we got to do what we need to do. The example that I like to use now is a uniform accommodation, and I have it at the bottom. We had an athlete last year that would wear nothing but pink Crocs. This athlete wears his pink Crocs every day. And if they are not wearing their pink Crocs, they will have a huge meltdown. So, Crocs are typically not allowed for even bocce competition. We want your students wearing athletic shoes, something with a good bottom that on a basketball court or on a turf field for outdoor bocce will have some grip to them, even if they're just walking up to the line. If I get an email before Friday that says, hey, Zach, we have an athlete that will only ever wear pink Crocs, lives in one pair of cargo shorts that his family has 20 copies of. We have an athlete that always wants to wear a backpack. It's a comfort thing for them. If we have that by Friday, I can add it to a list. I can get it to all of our officials. That's totally cool. Even if you have an athlete that's like, hey, Zach, I have an athlete that if somebody on our team doesn't say, you need to throw the ball, they will hold the ball for the entire tournament. They'll be there for 6 hours holding the ball. That's fine too. Give us that heads up early. We have that. We'll make a list of accommodations. We'll give it to all of our officials. We'll have extra lists if any coaches even want them, because then you can communicate with your coaches. We can back you up that says, hey, we have an athlete that needs help with this. We're going to help that athlete. We're going to provide a good experience for everyone. But again, Friday, please make sure I have any accommodation requests by Friday. Protests. Step one of protest. If you think something with your competition, that match that happened, was not right, something went wrong, first thing is don't sign the scorecard. Once you sign the scorecard, that match is finalized and you have blessed that it is final. With that said, if for some reason you guys have a match going on and something seems off or weird or something's not happening like you think it should be, go and talk to the head official on that court. If that head official thinks there's something wrong, they'll stop the match and address it. If they're unsure about the wrongness of it, they'll get our head official, they'll stop the match and address it. If our head official is unsure, they will get me, I'll stop the match and we'll address it. The best thing that we can always do is catch something before it's a bigger issue. But again, communicate, talk to officials, talk to other coaches, say, hey, I'm unsure about this. Let's figure things out before it gets too far down the line. With that said, if something is wrong and it doesn't get taken care of, it could be something that's protestable. We have a rules committee that is our head official, George Hergenhan, our competition assistant, that's Andrea Perry, and then our VP of sports, Mike Sarnowski. If a protest is submitted, they'll go over it, they'll approve or deny it, and we'll go from there, and I'll explain the next kind of steps from there. I wanted to give a protest example because I always get to this point and everybody's like, what's an example? And my brain freezes up, so I wrote it this time. A good example of a potential protest is you have a student on an opposing team that just keeps stepping over the foul line, right? They deliver the ball, they step on or over the foul line, it's a foul ball, and the official hops in to, preserve the state of the board, or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't catch it quick enough. The official becomes aware, the official starts saying something, the official starts removing a ball for them, but it continues to pile up and pile up. If the official is continuing to address it, nothing's getting better, the coach isn't fixing it in between frames, at that point, if it's having an impact on the game, whether that's by one of their balls was still live, they didn't see it, and it potentially caused a score issue, or if it's just making the game unplayable, that's something that's protestable. The outcome could vary based off of everything, but that's a relatively good example of it. One example of something that's not protestable is an official's judgment call. If an official says, hey, I didn't see them step over the line, it was a one-time thing, that isn't a protestable situation. Again, it's when they throw a flag in the NFL, the flag's the flag. It is what it is. Katie, anything else on protests? Was that a fitting example for once that I actually remembered?
Absolutely. If you do come to the situation where you feel like you need to protest, the forms will be at the control center with Mike and the others. So they won't be at my location. So if you're looking for them, I'm just going to save you from coming all the way to my side of the gym. They're over at the control center when you first check in.
Yep, I will give you a reminder. Coaches meeting is at the control center in the morning. I will remind you that that is where you can get them. A few rules reminders. Again, we're not going super deep on rules, but just reminders. reminder number one is the bocce ball must be released below the waist, regardless of if you're standing or crouching. I don't think it's possible to lay down and deliver it below the waist, but if you figure that out, Godspeed. The only time that that is not true is if we have a ramp user. If they're sitting in a wheelchair, the ball is likely above their waist, but otherwise the ball must be delivered below the waist. Um, if there's an illegal delivery above the waist, as an example, they step over the foul line. The officials may step in and grab that bocce ball and pull it out before it disturbs the state of the board. If for some reason there's a foul and the official doesn't catch that bocce ball and it disturbs the state of the game, they will take that ball out and they will reset the board to the best of their ability. If they have to reset the board, I will promise you right now, it will not be perfect, but it will be set to the best of their ability. Again, if for some reason there is concerns about illegal delivery, stepping over the line, delivering above the waist, just mention it to your official. They'll start looking out for it. They'll keep an eye on it. Just politely communicate with them. Coaching. Coaching has not been as big of an issue as it was a couple years ago. I think all of you guys are doing a great job. The main thing with coaching is coaching an athlete while an athlete or a partner, doesn't matter, anybody on your team, while they're in the court is not allowed. The second somebody steps in a court, there's no more communication with that player. They know what they need to do. They go in, they throw the Polina or deliver a bocce ball. That's it. With that said, athletes and unified partners, they can converse outside the court as much as they want as they're sitting on the bench there waiting for their turn. The second that they step in, that's over. Again, if they're talking, that's fine, but they do need to deliver the bocce ball within 45 seconds, and the official will remind you to deliver the ball if it's getting close to that 45 seconds. Last thing, when it comes to approved coaching type of stuff, is if you have a player, an athlete, or a partner that it's not their turn, they haven't stepped into the court, they can step back to the coach's box and you guys can talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about bocce ball placement, if you want to talk about dinner plans, I don't care what you guys talk about. But you got to step back to the coach's box and they cannot have stepped in the court. Once anybody's in the court, no talking to them, they deliver the ball. Coaching penalties. These are the violations, and they will be issued by an official on a court if there is a coaching violation. The first one is just a warning. They'll let you know, hey, coach, once they're in the court, you can't talk to them. Second offense, if it happens a second time, the official, the head official, George, or myself will step in, and that coach gets removed for that game. If it happens a third time, we'll remove the coach from the competition area across the board for the day. I will say again, we have been blessed that we haven't had to use these outside of a warning here or there. So again, we will cover this in the morning for coaches meeting, but it's the main thing to remember as a coach, once somebody steps into that court, conversation's over. I will add one little caveat to the communication if somebody steps into a court. If a team, especially if we have an accommodation request that's approved, if a team has an athlete, right, that obviously really needs some assistance to just throw the bocce ball, to do whatever they need to do in the court, we'll have some conversation around there, but please send me accommodation requests. Best thing you can also do is if you have an athlete that needs extra help or whatever, if you have a visually impaired athlete that has a partner that walks into the court that stands behind the bocce ball, whatever it may be, communicate with the other coach when you get to your match. Hey, coach, I'm Coach Zach. Wanted to say hi. Just to let you know, Jimmy on my team, if I don't tell him to throw it, he will stand there for 45 minutes instead of 45 seconds. Great. Thanks, coach. Move on, right? So we'll cover that stuff again, but the main thing is once somebody steps in the court, communication's over. The other thing is delay of game penalties. Again, the main thing is you have to, when the official says green ball, somebody from the team that is green has to step in, pick up a bocce ball, and deliver it within 45 seconds. Again, for the most part, everybody does a good job. converse, figure out what you want to do, step in the court, pick up the ball, no communication, deliver it. Great. But we have had some cases where people are just taking too long and it hurts the quality of the game. If you go over 45 seconds, the official will issue a first warning and say, hey, you need to deliver the ball in 15 seconds. Gives you a whole minute. If we get to a second offense, and an official has to give you another warning, what's going to happen is they will take one of your bocce balls from that frame and you won't be able to throw it. So if you got a penalty and you throw 4 bocce balls in a frame, you'll now only have 3 to throw. If for some reason you've thrown all your bocce balls in a frame and they've issued a second offense, they'll take a bocce ball from your first set that comes up. So the next frame that you have, you'll start with 3 instead of 4. And then again, the third offense is really, we've never gotten to the second offense. So if you get to the third offense, it's pretty bad. And essentially, they'll award the frame. You'll forfeit that frame if you have 3 delay of game penalties, and the opposing team will get a score of 4-0. With that said, there's a little note: if for some reason a forfeited frame happens and it's 4-0 awarded and they go over 16, the game's over. That's just scoring rules in general. So the main thing with delay of game, when they say X ball, it's your turn to throw, 45 seconds, pick it up, step in the court, deliver the ball. That's really as simple as it is. It keeps the game moving. It keeps everybody, participating. We want to just keep it moving along. Does anybody have questions on the delay of game stuff? Because we don't see a lot of issues with it. It's just something that we've had to put in from a few instances realistically.
I have a question.
Yes.
So all of our students that need any sort of prompting, we have to send an email for, even if it's just like, hey, get up and throw the ball.
Honestly, it's better for you to do. I would just send me one email and just have their name and just a little note that says needs to be prompted to deliver the ball. It's one of those things where it just helps everyone out, and I have that list ready to go for everybody.
Thank you.
Yep.
I also had a question. As far as people in the box.
Yeah.
Like, obviously we have a student that somebody has to stay in the box with.
Yep.
Does it matter for other students who have to have somebody by the Polina, who that is? Should that be a coach? Should that be a partner or a partner?
Ideally, I think it makes it less of a perception issue if it's a partner, because they're already participating on the court with them. So I think that's a good way to go.
And any comment, like headphones, would they also be something we should let you know about?
It's better to just do it than not do it, quite honestly. But sensory things, totally fine with us. Just nice to have a note on them for sure.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Other questions? 2 very good questions.
I was going to say, Zach, I kind of want to go back to that first coach's question about, hey, I got to tell my kid to get up and throw the ball. If they're like sitting down in a chair and you're in the coach's box, that's perfectly fine to be like, yo, it's your turn, let's go. But as soon as they hit into the box, like as soon as they step on the court, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what she was asking.
Coach Simerson, does that clarify anything for you of, oh, I just got to tell my kids sometimes to get up? Or is it like that example of, when they get in the box, if I don't tell them, they will hold that bad boy all night long?
I mean, we have them both, so I'll just send you all an email of those
Beautiful.
kids that I think need it. But yes, it does.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Again, just a last note on delay of game. Willfully taking a delay of game penalty to run out the clock prior to the next frame beginning is not an acceptable conclusion to a match. If there's more than 45 seconds on the game clock, the next frame will be played. With that said, there is strategy to running out the clock, kind of like football. There's just a respectful way and an appropriate way to do it. A good example would be if there is, a minute and 15 seconds left. If you have the lead and you want to preserve the lead, you could have somebody step in, take 15 to 20 seconds holding the ball, figure out what they want to do, and, deliver a ball lightly in front of them or off to the side where the Polina's not, right? And you could do that a couple times, and it still allows you the competition experience of strategy. We just don't want people blatantly eating 45-second delay of game penalties to just run out the clock. There's a difference, right? It's a sportsmanship thing, realistically. Few more reminders on stuff. Just remember to use your team's rotation appropriately. For folks that have a team of 4 or a team of 8, realistically, you just put 4 and 4 on each side, right? Or 4 and they travel back and forth. Teams that are 5 or 7, do your best as coaches to rotate your participants through in a good, equitable experience, right? Like, everybody wants to take home gold. I absolutely respect that. But we want to make sure that all of your student athletes are getting a good, equitable experience on the court and getting playtime at the state tournament, right? I think it's better that they get a really good experience and potentially get a silver medal than you just have your ringers, your strongest people throwing on every frame to get gold, right? So this is something that we keep an eye on, but we don't police. We have you guys self-police this as coaches of your own teams because we don't want to become bocce police. That is not the business that we're in. We're not interested in that whatsoever. Again, if you have a team that travels, say you have a team of 4, right? They're going to start at one side of the court for a frame, and then at the end of the frame, they're going to go to the other side. Please have them stay at the frame side that we're working on. Once that frame's over, they can walk down, but please don't have them walk down one at a time. That causes some confusion, and sometimes it gets in the way of officials seeing things. Last couple notes, for folks that have those alternates on their roster, that 9th and 10th spot, you can substitute them into a match at any time. You have to swap an athlete for an athlete or a partner for a partner. And once somebody is subbed out for one of those 9th or 10th spot alternates, they're out for the rest of that match. They can't go back in. In my opinion, in our opinion, it's nice to have them swap towards that 15-minute mark out of a 30-minute game, because then they get the chance to play half a game. They get a good amount of time to play. With that said, I will give a note to last year we had a match. Somebody was playing in the gold medal game, and they subbed in their alternates, in the last like 2 or 3 minutes. They just wanted them to get to play the gold medal game, right? So you guys know how to use your 9th and 10th spot. Swap an athlete for an athlete, swap a partner for a partner. Just do what you need to do. But once somebody gets swapped out, they can't go back in. Additionally, this is a huge one that our officials have requested. Unless somebody is stepping in to pick up and deliver a bocce ball, please tell your players not to pick up your team's bocce balls and fiddle with them in their hands when they're not going to throw one. We've had times where somebody's playing with it in their hands, their back is turned to the official thinks everybody's throwing their balls, gives a score, and starts picking up bocce balls, and somebody turns around and goes, wait, I have one more left. Don't pick up a bocce ball unless you're stepping in to deliver it. That is a huge one for us. Any questions on any of those rule reminders? Fantastic. We're going to talk uniforms really quick. I think you guys know the deal with this one at this point. Again, leggings can't be transparent above the knee. The shorts can't have crazy designs on them. Here's what we care about with uniforms going into states, and we care about throughout the season, realistically, at competitions. A, they're wearing the top that you have assigned them as a school that has the Unified Sports logo. It has their school name or mascot or whatever's on your shirts. That's the first thing we care about. B, they're wearing some sort of shorts, pants, sweats, joggers that are of one color or relatively one style that you tell them to wear. So on Friday or Monday, when you see all your students, hey, we are wearing plain black shorts. Hey, we are wearing black shorts or black sweatpants. Just keep them all in the same line. No crazy designs. Everybody just go to Walmart and buy the cheapest $4 shorts you can find. That is the best thing your team can do. And then lastly, the other big thing for uniforms for bocce. I know people are really tempted. I'm wearing my Hey Dudes right now. They're real comfy. I get it. No Hey Dudes, no slides, no Crocs, no slippers. We want them wearing athletic footwear. We're on a gym floor, and if it happens to get wet, or somebody's sweating, or something happens, it can get slick. We don't want people getting hurt. So again, athletic footwear. I don't care if they want to wear their slides on the bus and change into sneakers. That's awesome. That's great. But athletic sneakers for competition. Again, this is going over what happens if you are not in uniform. If somebody's not in uniform and you can't fix the situation, right? Somebody shows up in jeans when they're not supposed to be in jeans, right? Love that we send home information. Information doesn't always make it to everybody at home. Sometimes a kid shows up in jeans. Bring an extra pair of shorts just in case. If you can't get that kid out of jeans and into shorts and it wasn't an accommodation that we approved, we won't let them play. They've got to be in uniform. If you have a kid come and they're wearing Hey Dudes for the day and they didn't bring extra sneakers and you don't have sneakers to put them into, they will not play. Additionally, if for some reason somebody is in uniform violation and you can't fix that uniform violation and it changes the composition to your team where you can't hit that minimum 2 athletes, 2 partners, or 3 athletes and 1 partner in a frame, it could lead to your team being an exhibition team and just playing for a participation award. So please, please, please tell everybody the basic uniform stuff. We're not super duper picky about the leg parts. The right uniform top with the Unified Sports logo and your team/high school on it. Athletic sneakers of some sort. Again, no like work boots or snow boots or anything either. We see those sometimes at indoor. And then again, black shorts, gray sweatpants, whatever you set as that lower extremity part of the uniform for your team as a coach, that's what we want. Questions on uniform stuff? Fantastic.
I was gonna say exactly. Let me pop in real quick.
Yeah.
So some coaches and some athletes will come up to me in a pure panic because there's like some emblem from like the company they bought it from, like Under Armour, and they're like, this is what we could find, and that's fine. It's Under Armour or it's the whatever logo from that company you bought the pants from. We're more worried about the like crazy Maryland flag type shorts that we've seen pop up. So if it's just like a small little emblem from the manufacturer, I have no issue with it.
Perfect. No Naruto or Dragon Ball Z pants. Think on that scale of crazy when we're talking crazy. Shannon, do you have a question?
Yeah, so could some students wear leggings, some wear shorts, some wear sweatpants if it's all the same plain color?
I
Absolutely.
did. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so they
totally
don't
fine with
all
us.
have to be
Yeah.
in black plain sweatpants.
No, I mean, if you can get your team in all black shorts or all black sweatpants across the board, I'll give you bonus points at that point because I'm pretty safe to say that I don't think anybody gets that far.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Great question. Great clarifying question. Let's talk venue map just to get you guys on visuals here. This has a layout for 11 courts. That's what we've done in the past. Looking that we took 2 extra teams this year, keeping an eye on the weather, there's a chance that we may go to 12 courts to help facilitate things. But 11 courts will be our minimum. And typically, court 11 is used as a warm-up court throughout the day. With that said, if we need to expedite certain matches onto an extra court, it does happen at court 11, but for the most part, you will be somewhere in court 1 through 10. And that's how it's laid out in the gym. They'll have big court signs, they'll have court numbers, it'll be great. The yellow U loopy thing will be tables. That'll be our main control center. That's where we will meet in the morning. We'll have our coaches meeting. Anytime that you need anything that is not bocce related in terms of the event, hey, we had an athlete that needs an extra lunch, or we have an athlete that got sick, they're in the bathroom, please report it to that control center. Hey, give me an extra schedule for the day. Hey, I need a bracket for this, whatever. Report that stuff to the yellow control center. The pink one at the end of the courts, that's where Katie and her team will be. That's where your teams should report before their matches. Or if we make a call for them, we want them to report there. Additionally, that light blue section over there in the corner is where we will distribute lunches from. So you will see them come in from the backside of the facility. We'll wheel them over there. My lunch crew will sort them all out, and then we'll make an announcement when we say, please pick up your lunches. Send a coach and a couple unified partners or a couple unified partners and athletes from your team. We will give you all your lunches in one big box, and we'll send you guys back into the student spectator area up top there. Last thing is in the green area is our awards venue. I'll explain that a little bit later down the road in the webinar here. But at the end of the day, when you're ready to be awarded and we call for you guys, go over to the stands that you see in front of the award, and we will get you guys situated and staged for your awards over there. Purple table, ignore that. I didn't have enough time to change that. We are not doing equipment inspection anymore. In the past, we've had you guys bring your own bocce balls, and we've weighed every one of them in the morning. Not happening anymore. We're bringing 12 fresh sets of bocce balls, and we are going to have fresh, ready-to-go bocce ball sets for you guys to play with at each court. Again, everybody's using the same bocce balls. There's no competitive inequity there. They are what they are. I will say we will also bring wet wipes because brand new bocce balls, while they're awesome and they're the right size and they're the right weight, when they hit those gym floors, they pick up everything under the sun. So we will have to wipe them down a little bit. Questions on the internal part of the venue? Beautiful. Team divisions, we will be finalizing them on Saturday. We have one more tournament to go after tonight. And as soon as we have the results of that tournament, we will have the brackets put together. Realistically, look for an email on Sunday. I'd say Sunday evening, 5, 6 p.m.-ish, pop into your email. We're going to send it, whatever email you sent on your roster is what we're going to send information to. We're going to try to have the brackets in there, an update on the weather, and any last minute stuff we can get you. So I hate to have you look at your work email on a Sunday, but please be prepared to look. Question from Lori in the chat, very good question. There's no need for us to bring our own bocce balls at all. No, we're going to have bocce balls on every court, including warm-up, and on the extra court, too. So they will be brand new sets, fully ready to go. No need to bring bocce balls for you guys. And again, just a reminder, competition rosters are locked in as soon as your district tournament finishes. 99.9% of the rosters have already been sent to us by your district representatives. Anything in that competition section you want to go back over, ask a question about, or anything I missed? I have one note that I want to share.
So Zach, I'm actually going to pop in on this one. For warm-ups, when you get to districts, this year I'm actually going to have the sign-up sheet at Control Center and let them manage that for sign-in. So this way it's a one-stop shop. So they will have the list of who's on what court at what time. And we're just going to do the honor system of you've been on the court for 15 minutes. It's time to cycle through and let somebody else have a chance.
Yep, that's perfect. For the most part, that's been our system, and you guys have done a great job. Anybody that's a returner, you do a great job. Grab some court time, get a little bit warmed up, 10, 15 minutes. Coach comes up, hey, can we use this court? Yes, awesome. Thank you, guys. Additionally, I forgot to put a little slide in here just on the basics of stuff. 30-minute matches. We'll schedule them essentially in 40-minute windows in case we have extra time that we need to play. And we play to 16. If somebody gets to 16 before 30 minutes, match is over. I could probably count the number of times we've gotten to 16 on one hand in 5-6 years. So again, that's the main thing you need to know. 30-minute matches, play to 16. Awards. Biggest thing with awards is when we tell you that your team is ready or we make an announcement, head over to that area and we will get your team staged for you. We are working a little bit of a new system. I'm not much of an artist, but this is what I did for our system so you can see a little bit. We'll give you a better visual in the morning. Essentially, the competition area is at the bottom. The map that I showed you about the number of the courts, This is the inverse of this map. Now we're looking at the wall where the award stands are. We will have 2 award stands this year. And the only reason we have 2 is at the end of the day, it gets jammed up and a little slow sometimes. So we're going to alternate award stands and do award ceremonies to expedite the end of the day. So Tyler will be over there. He'll have assistants over there to help him. Essentially, somebody will sort you first off into awards waiting area 1 or 2. Once from there they're ready for you, they'll put you in staging, they'll line your team up, they'll have your team roster, you'll be ready to go. After that, when your team is ready to be awarded, they'll walk you up on one of the award stands, they'll present your awards, you take some pictures, you come off the stand, and we keep going. We flip-flop from stand 1 to stand 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's going to keep us moving through the day. If you have folks that want to take pictures or they want to watch the award ceremony, we will have a section that has award spectator signs right in front of the stands, and we're going to have it roped off a little bit. There's going to be stands that they can sit in to watch. There's ground level that they can stand on and take pictures from. It's going to look really nice. It's going to be really fun. Just work with us when we get there, and Tyler will get you in the right spot to get your awards. Again, once you get on the stand, take some pictures, enjoy that moment. We appreciate how hard you guys work to get there, but then please step off so we can keep rolling. Additionally, when it comes to how we facilitate the competition with the brackets and round robin competition, if you are in a bracket, realistically, once you've lost 2 games, your day is essentially over. That's the double elimination format. So, there is teams, that's just how competition and brackets go. Those teams that lose 2 matches will probably have the placement for, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th place, and it'll happen earlier in the day. As soon as we have what place you are for your school, we will call you over to awards. So, if you're unfortunately one of those teams that loses 2 matches, we are going to get you over to awards, we're going to get you awarded, and at that point, you guys can stay, hang out, watch competition, or you can hop on the bus and go. Whatever works for you guys. I know, again, my artistry here isn't perfect, but any questions on awards? Tyler, is there anything that you want to add on awards?
Nope, I think you hit it all.
Fantastic. If there's any updates with awards or how we facilitate, we will let you know in the coaches meeting morning of. Day of volunteers, if you have students from your school or administrators or whoever wants to come and wants to volunteer, our volunteer director, Sam, will be there and she'll have day of forms. With that said, you got to be 18 or older to sign a day of form to volunteer. So if you have students that are coming with your team, we love to take volunteers that are students. Please reach out to Sam Boyd ASAP via email because she can get that set up for you and get it done online, and a parent can sign it online or ahead of time so that they can come with it signed. I know one coach already reached out about day of volunteers, and they tend to, help Tyler with awards or help food services or whatever it may be that they may be running around for Katie. But we love having day of volunteers. We love getting your students in leadership roles. Just make sure you communicate with our volunteer director, Sam, and that's her email. Here's my cell phone number. That's my crazy New Jersey cell phone number. Please write that down right now and have it on you. Again, I will send the slide deck, but please have it on you. If you are running late in the morning, please, please, please just send me a text at least. You don't have to call me. I probably won't hear my phone anyway. At least send me a text saying, hey, Zach, this is Coach Blank from this school. We're running late. Our ETA is whatever. If we have that, we can be flexible and help and take care of things. But if, you're running behind and nobody reaches out to me, and it's 10:45 and matches are already underway and you were supposed to be in that first round, sorry, you're losing that first round. That's a forfeit. So please, please, please take down my number. Additionally, if there's any time between now and states that you have a question, best bet is to please text that number. We'll have emails going back and forth, but I'm telling you right now, me and Tyler and Katie are going to be neck deep preparing for the rest of the week. Additionally, just so you all know, the week after we have our state tournament for strength and conditioning in Snow Hill. So we're also preparing for that state tournament as well. So if you have any questions, if you're running late, if you think of something in the middle of the night tonight and you didn't ask on the webinar, text me. I won't wake up and answer it. I promise that. I'm a hard sleeper, but I will see it in the morning and I will do my best to answer it. Questions. We are at the end of the rainbow. Right at an hour. Perfect. Katie, anything that you want to add?
No, I think we covered everything. I'm excited.
Fantastic. I know. Very excited for indoor bocce states. Tyler, is there anything that you want to cover from a paperwork or awards venue standpoint?
Yep.
Fantastic. Last call for questions. Okay. Again, if you think of anything, you'll see an email tomorrow. Feel free to respond to the email or text me. Big things coming down the line that I'm going to need you to look at email wise are if you have accommodations that you need, email us. Even if you think maybe I should ask, send them. Just send the accommodations. We'd rather have a big list than a no list, right? Number 2 is you guys are going to get a roster in the next day and a half. When that comes out, I will type my email in the chat. Good question. That's somd.org. Sorry, I'm just a bad typer. You'll see that roster in the next couple days. Please look at it to confirm everybody from your team that was on your competition roster is on it. Also double check to make sure we got all of your coaches, assistant coaches, managers, paraprofessionals, whatever that may be. If we're missing somebody, we'll work with you guys. We'll get them taken care of. And then the last thing is going to be on Sunday. Sunday evening, take a peek at your email for a couple things. It's mostly going to be brackets and letting you know realistically when your first match is, and then the weather update. If anything else pops up, we'll let you guys know. Other than that, we're super excited for states to finally happen. We get that little holiday break in the middle and it kind of slows things down, but now we're rocking and rolling and we're really excited to see all you guys. Indoor bocce is one of my favorite state tournaments of the year. HCC is a great venue. They're really good to us. They're good to your students. And we're all going to have a great time. So if you have any questions, please reach out. And I will make sure that you guys are all set. Sending my email one more time for everybody. somd.org. That's my email in the chat in case you need it. But you will see an email tomorrow. Take down my email. If for some reason by tomorrow evening you don't see an email with the slides and webinar recording and such, email me, text me, because I might have missed an email, fallen asleep at the wheel sometimes. So appreciate you guys. You've done an awesome job this whole season. I know everybody's going to have a great time and do an awesome job at the state tournament, and I can't wait to see you guys all there. So have a great night, and we will see you guys very soon.